owner and as a state Senate campaign coordinator. We need fresh ideas and a fresh approach. For too long, it's good enough has been the standard. The taxpayers deserve better because we can't keep paying more. We must break the cycle of spending more just to barely keep us afloat. It is time to elect the next generation of leaders. The next generation is innovative and willing to work together to cut costs. I am asking you to plan on supporting your local Lake County Republican candidates because we will work together to keep Lake County moving forward. Can we afford not to? Thank you.
Thank you. Candidates, we're going to start off with a question from Greg.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hi, Maureen. How are you? Now, on your questionnaire, I noticed that you indicated that most of the questions we had were not applicable to your position. We asked about your position on fiscal responsibility and whether the Constitution should be viewed as a dynamic living document or with the intent of the original founders, what your position is on Obamacare, and what your position was on Senate Bill 5 with regard to the unions. And you indicated that essentially it was not applicable to the clerk of court's position, and that's very reasonable. But part of what we were trying to do is to figure out exactly where you're coming from and whether you're conservative or moderate or liberal and your position on some of these issues. So could you kind of tell us what you feel about these issues?
I think it's very true that I did feel uncomfortable with the questionnaire because so many of the questions in my best day, with 100% effort, I cannot impact these issues. I understand that the Tea Party is interested in those, but I stand on my record of already in 4 years doing the job with 25% fewer dollars and 20% fewer staff. As far as fiscal responsibility, I am never going to be able to impact that. Although the responsibility of my office is vast, my focus is very narrow. And I have the integrity to not ask you to vote for me because of my position on fiscal responsibility at the federal level when I can't promise that I'm going to be able to do anything about that. And I want to be fair. What I will tell you is that budget cuts have been a constant from the day I walked in the door. And we have made some very creative, and I use the word creative carefully because I know sometimes we think that that's mistaken, but I use the word that we have imaginative ways to try and get the work done.
I hear what you're saying, and I understand your position, but part of what we were trying to do is to figure out what your philosophy is, your political philosophy, regardless of whether you can impact any given issue, like say Obamacare, which obviously you cannot do as quick, of course. What would you do to describe your philosophy? How would you describe it?
My philosophy is to get up every day and to be the very best elected official that I can be.
Do you favor limited government or more expansive government?
Again, in my position, my focus is very narrow. The Ohio Constitution dictates my work. And I don't like politicians that promise things they can't deliver.
But we're not asking for promises. It just sounds like you're trying to evade telling us what your philosophy is to me.
I'm not trying to evade that at all. But my integrity doesn't allow me to answer things that I can't impact as an elected official.
All right, the next question goes to Emily. You mentioned a number of possible opportunities to improve the efficiency of the office, such as implementing necessary changes recommended by the state auditor, improving efficiency by integrating technology, and eliminating needless overlap of services. Could you explain for us in more detail what initiatives you would implement if elected?
Sure. Thank you. My philosophy, I should say, how I'm running my campaign, is closely the clerk of court's office. Oh, I'm sorry. She did implement a mail service within the clerk's office. But wouldn't it be great if we could actually have that mail service throughout all of the county offices? If we could share that, if we could cut the same cost, and we would actually be saving money on processing, on printing, on delivering. So that was with regards to the overlap. I'm sorry, what, could you repeat the rest of the question?
Yes, the changes, necessary changes recommended by the state auditor covered improving, covered the overlap of services. So the changes recommended by the state auditor in improving efficiency by integrating technology.
Definitely. Integrating technology, e-filing, saving lawyers time for crossing the street to file their papers, which in turn saves us time, whoever utilizes the lawyers. I understand that a lot of us do not utilize the courtroom day to day. And a lot of us, with this economy, quite frankly, might not utilize the title bureau, but it is affected by every single one of us because they are dependent upon our tax dollars. So anything that we can do to get people working, doing more, saving money, that was my philosophy with integrating technology.
Okay. Emily, hi.
Hi.
I am a federal lawyer, and we have e-file, and it saves on a lot of things, including storing documents, because you can do it electronically. Let me ask you some of the same questions, just to put you on the record. What is your position regarding Obamacare, fiscal responsibility, and how would you describe your philosophy?
Would you like me to start with Obamacare first? Okay. Obamacare, unnecessary, invasive. That's how I personally feel. It is overregulated. It is not getting to the root of the problem, which is we have to spend too much for medical care. Fiscal responsibility, we are dependent on our state and our county becoming fiscally responsible, balancing the budget. This is how our seniors are living on their Social Security. It's estimated that if we don't balance our budget and we continue to raise the debt ceiling, I believe by 2014, the Social Security will be completely depleted. There will be nothing left. Just think of every single one of you who is paying into your Social Security right now, whether you're younger and you're just starting out, or whether you're retiring in the next 2 years. What does that mean? Does that mean they're going to raise the debt ceiling? And then every time they raise the debt ceiling, the value of our money goes down.
Okay. How would you describe your political philosophy? That was the final one.
Political philosophy?
Yeah, just put a word to it: conservative, moderate, liberal.
Conservative.
Okay. The next question is for you, Maureen.
Chuck, is there an opportunity for me to respond?
If she mentions you, I think, or something that you've done, so she did mention the mail service, so I guess you have opportunity to respond to that.
If I could, thank you, Chuck. Emily had mentioned about the mail service. As the largest user of postage in the county, the way that our current county commissioners have set up that fund and the way they pay for the services of those in the mailroom is they charge an administrative cost. When I came into office, that administrative cost, over and above the